What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Dragonflight video, and we're going to talk about Prot Paladin today, and the tier set bonus that's coming in 10.1. We've been trying to cover all the Paladin stuff, and the last one we got to get to is, of course, Prot Paladin. This one's fairly simple, actually, in design. Doesn't have too much interaction going on, except for potentially one or two talents on the tree that I'm interested in talking about today and seeing if it might become the meta to switch into these talents. So we'll talk about that, and let's just get into the tier set bonus quick right off the bat here. Excuse me. Number 1, Avenger's Shield causes targets to to burn with Heartfire, dealing an additional 20% of the damage dealt over 5 seconds. Heartfire heals you for 100% of the damage it deals, okay? Very good 2-piece. 4-piece, Judgement critical strikes apply Heartfire and can trigger Grand Crusader. If you don't know, of course, Grand Crusader is the passive right up here, which basically resets the cooldown of Avenger's Shield. So this is really cool. What this basically means is the entire tier set bonus is about Avenger's Shield, and it's about casting Avenger's Shield as much as humanly possible. Now, remember, Avenger's Shield no longer gives us holy power. That was in Dragonflight. So it's not going to be generating a crazy amount of holy power, but we're going to be getting lots of damage, lots of extra healing. We're going to heal for 100% of the Heartfire damage, which, again, is 20% of the Avenger's Shield damage. Very, very cool. And we're going to be triggering Grand Crusader more often, which, again, refreshes the cooldown of Avenger's Shield. Avenger's Shield, of course, is a very versatile ability for Prot Paladin now. You can make it hit multiple targets like it has always traditionally done, or you can make it hit one target very hard. So this actually has single target implications as well. If you take Focused Enmity, your Avenger's Shield will strike one target to 100% more damage, and that synergizes very well with the tier set bonus here. So really, there's no problem in terms of single target versus AoE. Some of the tier set bonuses are leaning a little bit more one direction or the other. This one's just right down the middle because you're able to basically just adjust your talents to modify whether you want single target or AoE damage. So what are the actual changes that we're going to have with this tier set? How does this actually affect our talents? One thing that I haven't seen basically any Prot Paladins taking is Moment of Glory, and that is the bottom left talent over here. It's just not something that we've really been able to fit into the entire tree. A lot of other important talents like Final Stand or Gift of the Golden Valkyrie, at least having 1 point into this is really, really good. And we're always trying to get down to Bulwark of Righteous Fury to get that extra damage because Prot Paladin does a crazy amount of damage. Now, recently, they buffed the tree by including things like Seal of Charity to combo with Hand of the Protector, which gives you crazy, crazy off-healing if you want it, which nobody's really speccing into this, but I tried it in a couple of dungeons just for fun, and you can basically, solo heal a dungeon as a Prot Paladin. But this is going the other direction. This is basically saying we need to now spec all the way down into Moment of Glory just to see if this is good. And why would I think Moment of Glory is good? Well, for the next 15 seconds, you generate an Absorb Shield for 20% of all damage you deal. All damage, including Heartfire tier set damage and any other ability that you're throwing. Shield of the Righteous, Judgment. Avenger's Shield damage goes up by 20%. And this is the kicker. Its cooldown is reduced by 75%. Why does that matter? Well, of course, because our tier set bonus now gives us extra damage and extra healing whenever we can throw Avenger's Shield. So we want to be throwing it as much as humanly possible. And of course, this also synergizes with Divine Toll, which throws 5 Avenger's Shields and then continues to throw shields because of Divine Resonance afterwards. This all combos with the tier set bonus to give us a bunch of extra damage and a bunch of extra healing. Very, very cool. The 4-piece bonus here is actually also interesting. Judgement critical strikes apply Heartfire. So your Judgment critting is now pretty important. And I think getting Crusader's Judgment, I mean, everybody was probably getting this anyway, but this is even more important. So Judgment has 2 charges, and Grand Crusader now also reduces the cooldown of Judgment by 3 seconds. I think this 4-piece bonus actually has some interesting implications in terms of changing your talent choice from Blessed Hammer over to Hammer of the Righteous. Here's why. Hammer of the Righteous takes 3 GCDs. You can continuously keep pressing it to get holy power, and it has very, very good utility in the sense that you can cast Blessed Hammer out of combat and start generating holy power before the fight even starts. So I'm not saying Blessed Hammer is bad. I'm just saying with this new setup, you are really going to want to be pressing Avenger's Shield as soon as it comes off cooldown and Judgment. Because if your Judgment crits, it gives you your Avenger's Shield back. That's what this is saying. And it obviously triggers Heartfire damage. So you're getting extra Heartfire damage, extra Heartfire healing, because you heal for 100%, and you're getting Avenger's shield back if that Judgment is critting. So if we crowd our GCDs by taking Blessed Hammer and needing to press Blessed Hammer over and over again to get that generation going, we're not going to be pressing Judgment. We're not going to be pressing Avenger's shield as much, which we need to be pressing, because this tier set bonus is all about those spells, those abilities. Okay, so here's kind of the build that I have just cooked up just for fun. This is a Hammer of the Righteous build with Moment of Glory and, of course, Crusader's Judgment. So we have all the tools that we kind of want here to try and maximize our uptime on pressing Avenger's shield and Judgment. So let me just show you what this looks like here. I know it's kind of loud because of everybody else doing damage, but here we go. I'm going to watch the damage over here. This does a crazy amount of damage, and then we're also going to try and prioritize pressing Judgment and Avenger's shield, okay? So here we go. We're going to go here. So we're going to do this, and then we start. We'll get one. Oh, we got Avenger's shield already. Remember, it doesn't give us holy power. So there we go. Now we're going to go Divine Toll. There we go. Then we're going to get into Moment of Glory in a second. We're going to go right now. There we go. Now our Avenger's shield is off cooldown. Really, really low cooldown. So Avenger's shield, Judgment, Shield of the Righteous, Avenger's shield, Judgment, Crusader, Avenger's shield, Judgment, Hammer of the Righteous, Avenger's shield is back. Press it again. Avenger's shield's coming back. Press it again. There we go. Now we're out of our cooldown. Now we've just got kind of regular cooldowns. We can use our other things like Bastion of Light, of course, giving us those extra spenders if we want to. Eye of Tyr is just a defensive cooldown. We're not taking the extra damage for Eye of Tyr. And then that's a basic rotation. Now we're just trying to make sure that we maximize our uptime on our other buttons. And you can see I'm not really struggling. I'm not like sitting there waiting for things to come off cooldown. We always have something to press with this build, which is really, really great. Even if, because you don't have the extra Blessed Hammer casts to give you your holy power and to fill your GCDs, we don't need it. We get so many charges of Judgment. So many Avenger shields keep coming off cooldown right there. And we can obviously press our Shield of the Righteous to fill in as well. Now we have Divine Toll back. Let's do it. Divine Toll. Big damage. Big Heartfire damage there. Avenger shield is back. Wings is back. Let's go. There we go. We're back into our sort of regular cooldown again. Moment of Glory is coming back off cooldown. It's a 1.5 minute cooldown. It doesn't line up perfectly well with everything, except that we can keep Wings up for a long time with this build. So realistically, it's going to be okay. Moment of Glory is almost here. Let's get Eye of Tyr out of the way. Now we go Moment of Glory after we press our Avenger's shield. Boom. Moment of Glory resets your Avenger's shield as well. Remember that. So basically, you don't want to press Avenger's shield. You don't want to have an Avenger's shield ready to go. You want to spend your Avenger's shield and then press Moment of Glory because it gives it back to you. Okay? And then we're just maximizing our Avenger's shield. You can see the cooldown is ridiculous. It's so short. There we go. We're out of our cooldown now, and there we go. We're done. So our damage, we sustained like basically 80k. It was probably more than what was actually shown there. We're going to do not healing. I want overhealing. Here we go, because we weren't actually healing anything. There we go there. Here's the numbers. Look at the Heartfire healing. 21%. That's a lot of healing. That's a lot of shielding, actually. Or does it heal us? It heals us, right? It heals us for 100%. So here's what's kind of cool about the healing side of it. First of all, we're getting a bunch of healing from Heartfire, which is great. Number two, we're getting extra shielding from Bulwark because we're casting Avenger's Shield all the time, right? That's down here. Right here, sorry. Avenger's Shield also shields you for 50%. So Bulwark is shielding us. Moment of Glory itself also shields us, which is right here. 13% of our shielding there. So we're getting healing, extra shielding for Bulwark, and then a whole other extra set of shielding for Moment of Glory that we've never gotten before. Insane defensive properties here if you're going to take Moment of Glory. Here's the damage. Avenger's Shield, really high because we're casting it so often with the Moment of Glory cooldown. And obviously, every single time it resets, we're trying to get it as well. Our Judgment is resetting it all the time because of the tier set bonus here. Judgment, critical strikes have a chance to apply or have a chance to trigger Grand Crusade, which gives us it back. So our Avenger's Shield damage is really high. Shield of the Righteous is still super high because of our talents, buffing it, Bulwark of Righteous Fury, of course. But Judgment damage is also really high because we're prioritizing our casts on Judgment as much as we can. Hammer of the Righteous is only 3% of our damage, but that's okay. The only reason we have Hammer of the Righteous is just to give us extra holy power, and it does a little bit more damage than Blessed Hammer does. I'm not saying you have to go Hammer of the Righteous. You can still go Blessed Hammer. I think you're going to do a little bit less damage, but it's probably more defensive, and it has more utility because it does generate holy power. But realistically, I'm just saying you can take Hammer of the Righteous and get a little bit of extra damage from that, which is pretty cool. You have to be standing in your consecration to get that extra bit of damage, of course, to make sure that that's there. All in all, I think this is really interesting and basically covers all the bases. So, number one, it's going to do a lot of extra damage. Avenger's Shield is doing damage, and then there's our Heartfire. Basically 5% of our damage just from Heartfire, which is super great. Avenger's Shield doing tons of damage. Secondly, the defensive side of it is really good. Heartfire is giving us healing. Bulwark is giving us more shields. And then Moment of Glory is a brand new line of shielding we've never had before. 13% of our healing right there. So it kind of does everything that you might want it to do as a Prot Paladin. Healing, damage, and then, of course, you're triggering Grand Crusade more often, which is just giving you kind of more quality of life, which is super good. In a Mythic Plus environment, it's insane because you can actually get more Avenger Shields cast, which is more silences on the enemies. If you didn't know, Avenger Shield interrupts and silences any non-player for 3 seconds, right? It's insane. It's so, so good with the extra utility portion, not on top of the damage and healing that it provides. So really, really cool. We got to throw it 117 plus 59. What is that? It's like 170 times, basically. 170 something, 176 times. We threw Avenger's Shield over 170 times in that fight. That's insane. That is so many Avenger Shields. So many silences you can throw out, and so much damage and healing that you're doing. So overall, I don't know if this is going to change people's talent trees, but I suspect that Moment of Glory now has a really good place for Prot Paladin going into 10.1. I don't think you're necessarily going to take Sentinel, or sorry, Avenging Wrath Might, which is what I was taking. I was trying to get more crit for the 4-piece bonus to go off more. Judgment Critical Strikes give you Grand Crusade and obviously benefit from Heartfire. So you're probably still going to take Sentinel to be tankier. I totally understand that. I just wanted to give it a shot with Avenging Wrath Might and kind of see how that felt. And it felt really good, honestly. But I just think Moment of Glory is really cool, guys. Let me know what you think about this. Do you think that Prot Paladin might have some talent tree changes coming into 10.1 because of this tier set bonus and the emphasis on Avenger's Shield? Because I really think this is powerful. A powerful cooldown here that just does everything. Gives you damage, gives you shielding, and then gives you the more utility because you can throw out Avenger's Shields to silence enemies, and then it all pours into this new Heartfire tier set bonus, which again is more damage and healing on top. It's like quadruple dipping, basically, right? So what do you guys think? Do you think that this is going to be a cooldown? Do you not think it's going to be anything? Let me know in those comments down below. Thank you so much again for watching. I love you all. I will see you in the next one.